nostalgia, memories, growing up in Central Florida in the 1990s. What a bunch of sappy crap. It's the Sappy Crap Podcast. Starring Steve Bauman and Jarman Day. Welcome to the Sappy Crap Podcast, where the names are changed, but the stories are real. I'm Jarman.
And I'm Steve.
Yeah, and we're here to tell stories that only two longtime best friends can.
That's right.
Cheese balls we are.
We are. And these are just stories at this point because however our brains keeps them. My parents, we just talked to them earlier and they're like, you know, the truck wasn't in a storage facility, right? I was like, really? I thought there were multiple families. They were, but they were in the same truck. It was on the highway. And I went, oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
It's just how my brain kept it.
The more family that listens to this will be like, no, that was wrong. That didn't happen.
That shit didn't happen.
So what are we talking about this time, Steve?
Well, this time we were dipping into romance because when we talk about foibles with girls, it seems to be our best episodes. And this one hopefully will be no different as we talk about first kisses.
Yeah, and I was first thinking when we brought up this topic, I'm like, how are we going to fill a whole episode with first kisses? But I'm like, you know, I do have kind of multiple that I count as different for different reasons.
Well, in your first kiss with an individual and those, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you mean with more than one person?
Yes. Group first kisses.
Well, all right. Well, going into
That's
it.
Right. So this is something I've always sort of maintained and sort of my thought about first kisses. And this is how I used to wax poetic to like the middle school boys who used to ask me about what girls were like when I worked as a counselor.
Uh-huh.
And I would say first kisses are nearly always awkward and or terrible in some way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know each other intimately yet. You don't know how their mouth feels or how they like to tilt their head, or you both try to tilt the same way. And they can be awkward and terrible, but the moment before the first kiss, when you are connecting and when you're going in and when you know it's going to happen, that moment is always great.
That's true. The lead up can be a lot better than the conclusion in a lot of situations in life. The lead up
is the best part of that moment when you know it's going to happen. You know you're making that connection because the first kiss is, as I said, often awkward.
That's true. Can be. Even in your adulthood years.
That's right. Every time I kiss my mailman, he is so awkward about it.
That's why you keep having different mailmen and they keep changing.
Well, that's why we keep having first kisses.
That's great. Unlimited first kisses.
Yeah.
And lawsuits.
Also, they won't deliver my mail anymore.
That's why you have that P.O. box. Okay. Now I get it. Well, I think I remember my first kiss. So I count. I was in 5th grade. And a girl we're going to call Josie Marzipan. And it very well actually, you know, parallels her name actually. But she had the same birthday as me. And that meant, of course, that we were soulmates in 5th grade. So very early on, I was obsessed with girls, like probably since, you know, 2nd, 3rd grade. I was just like, you know, loving every girl I could. I had huge crushes and stuff.
You knew what it was about.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was terrified of women, but at the same time was obsessed with them. And women being just like 5th graders. Go on. Yeah. And so I was lucky enough after several, you know, probably weeks, if not months of chase the girls around the playground at recess / then the girls chase the boys. And it's a bunch of pushing in the dirt, but also flirtations and like laughing, and it's fun. And we just, you know, fell madly in love in 5th grade. And we became girlfriend and boyfriend. And how you do that is you get married by going down the slide together.
I remember that. Yeah.
That's what we did. We got married going down the slide together. And so I think we're technically still married. So I should look into that.
You never climbed back up the slide together.
Yeah, I had to go backwards. And since she's now remarried, I think she's a polygamist. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But anyways, so what happened was we're having a pool party in my backyard. And I will say I have no bad memories of this. The lead up was fantastic. We had a little quick peck on the lips. That's all it was.
Okay.
And I just remember it being, I was on cloud 9. And it all ended poorly because in 6th grade, she went off and made out with some guy. And I found out about it and we broke up. but that was my first girlfriend, technically, funnily, and then first little peck in the lips.
Bambi Marzipan, you whore.
No, but she's
is that the fake name we came up with?
Josie Marzipan, yeah.
There we go.
But she's great, and she's turned out a great person. We're friends on Facebook and everything. Same birthday, which is cool. But that's like my first real first kiss, because after that point I didn't kiss another girl until I think a couple of years later. It was years before I kissed another girl again.
That's fair.
Yeah. So what about you?
I'm going to talk about one of the ones that I don't count.
I have one of those too for later. Yeah.
Count.
Yeah.
It was the summer after 8th grade. I think summer after 8th or summer after 9th, one of the two. And I was on a mission trip with my church. And there was this girl who I'll call Susie. And Susie was always a little bit strange, but sweet. And we both had a good sense of humor, and we talked a good amount. And in retrospect, like we had done mission days and stuff together where we had to go and, paint houses on a Sunday, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like we ended up talking and working together in those. And I now in retrospect realize that she was flirting, and like 8th grade, 7th grade Steve just didn't get it.
Yeah.
In those situations. But finally we were on a bus together. I remember she traded someone to sit next to me.
Oh.
And it was really awkward, and it got amorous. And we had arms around each other holding hands. And I remember I kissed her on the cheek, and she turned and gave me we had like a really dry peck mouth kiss. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It happened.
It happened. It's the bus, and it's nighttime. Like everyone's sleeping, and we're right. Exactly. This was super questionable on a church trip. And so I kissed her cheek again a little bit later, and we do another like dry mouth kiss. And then she takes my hand and she puts it under her shirt.
Whoa. This is 8th grade?
I panicked. 8th grade Steve was not even remotely ready for that at that pace. And I remember I kind of pulled away, and we just went to bed, and nothing really progressed that night. And the next day we stopped for breakfast, like with this whole busload of church kids. Stopped for breakfast somewhere, and we sat, and I remember one of our chaperones left, and she stopped. She's like, last night was fun. If you ever want to, finish what we started, that would be fine. And like 8th grade, like once again, 8th grade and Steve was like, wait, what? What did we start?
Susie, my goodness.
We had a dry mouth kiss, and then like some really awkward time. Like I didn't know what to do. And I remember I got really distant the rest of the trip.
Oh, wow.
And like got really weird. Like I admit I was the one who got really weird.
It got a little too heavy.
It got too heavy. I was not ready. And so I distanced myself because I couldn't handle it. And I remember I probably ruined that girl's trip. Like realistically, I ruined that girl's trip.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the fact that you
put
weren't
herself out there, and I didn't know how to handle it.
You weren't ready for it yet. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all.
But it wasn't even that. It's like I wasn't emotionally mature enough to even tell her that.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Communicate that. I was like, no, I gotta go.
That's even farther beyond being physical with someone as being emotionally available for someone. So yeah, you had years to go for that.
But yeah, it was a weird remainder of the trip.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
There was a girl later on. This would technically have been called my first real kiss, but I don't count it, and you'll find out why. We'll call her Nellie. Mm-hmm. But I don't recall the exact circumstances of how we were friends, but she went to the same school as us, obviously. I think this was early 9th grade, if not like the summer after 8th grade. And so I haven't kissed somebody since 5th grade. So this is a big, long gap there. And I actually go out on a date with her, but it's with her mom. And it's out like a music festival, I think, in downtown Winter Park or something like that, outdoors. And it's a little fun time. Her mom was a big hippie, and it was kind of neat. And she was letting us be by ourselves while she kind of hung out with her friends and stuff. And so we go back to the house. Her mom goes inside and says, okay, I'll see you in a minute, Nellie. And so at the door, we know both of us, there's a look in our eyes. This is supposed to happen. This is where the kiss is supposed to happen. I've seen it in the movies. And so we go in, and she just sticks her tongue in my mouth, no lips whatsoever. I don't think any lips touched. There was just tongue. And she kind of rooted around a little bit, and I was like, okay, I got to go.
I mean, I get it. She wanted to check your teeth.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how you check
maybe she wanted to become a dentist. I don't know. But that did not go well, and I do not count that as my first real kiss at all. But she is also a cool person, has an eventful life, and I'm sure I hope she's doing well out there. But nothing came from that. I didn't continue dating her boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything, as far as I can remember.
Right.
So that was my second experience.
Let's see, another good one. At one point, I signed up for lobby crew.
What is that?
So, like in high school.
Oh, for drama?
There was a show, yeah.
Oh.
There was a show that Advanced Drama did, that you guys did, that I wasn't in because I couldn't be in Advanced Drama. It was like the one show I didn't do in high school.
Because of chorus or something?
Or some other thing, some other scheduling thing.
Right.
And so I like volunteered to work lobby crew because there was this girl I liked. So I worked lobby crew for 2 or 3 nights, and we got to hang out and talk. And finally, it's like the last night of the show, and the second act has gone in. We're out in the lobby, and we're hanging out. We start kissing.
Ooh,
going pretty good about it. And then I hear this, and I turn over as a parent. Oh, sir, are you looking for the bathroom? It's right over there. He's like, no, I'm here to pick up my daughter, Jen.
Oh.
And that was the first time I met her dad, and we did date for a couple months after that.
Awkward.
But
man, your first kiss after Susie, and then it's right in the middle of this lobby.
Well, no, that wasn't the first kiss after Susie. The other. Okay. So the problem is that I've already told 2 of my first kiss stories on other episodes.
Oh, I see.
The school dance episode featured like that's the one I consider my first kiss.
What grade was
on
that?
On the dance floor, 10th grade homecoming, cute blonde freshman I somehow tricked into going with me.
That's right.
And the other one was where I went with this girl to see a movie, and then afterwards we found a place to make out, and she said, "You put your tongue in my mouth." And I went, nope.
So that was the 2 in between there. Okay.
Right, there were a few in between there.
Gotcha. I remember those stories.
No, there were multiple in between there, but these are the ones that have like some sort of story that goes with them.
See, I had nothing in between there. I had no confidence in middle school whatsoever. So pretty much 5th grade to 8th grade went by with not a single interaction with a female. Besides,
you dated someone in 7th grade.
There was like a little hand holding.
I dated someone with 7th grade.
Oh, that
so I know
yes, those friends we held hands with for a while. There was
those friends we dated.
No kissing involved for me, as far as I can remember.
I got 1 kiss on the cheek.
Oh, how nice!
A single kiss on the cheek.
So then we come to my first real kiss, and I think it went very well. Her and I did not go very far either, but it was for the best. We'll call her Candace McDonald. I'm trying to make it similar to their names, but not their names. Candace McDonald. And so, Candace McDonald. She was not Irish. Maybe she's, maybe her ancestors. But the cool thing was I was still a very, very skinny, pale, slight person back then. I didn't get any like actual weight on my bones until like college. So
I can confirm
this girl was on the crew team at Winter Park High School, and we had a serious crew team. Like they're well regarded.
We did have a serious crew team.
That's they worked the hell out of their kids, and these kids all got buff for high schoolers. Like they got stacked. And she was not a coxswain or coxman, however you say it, that work at the front who are a small person who's tell people to row. She was one of the workhorses, in the back. Mm-hmm. But very pretty girl. She's just very muscular and had a big frame, and wide shoulders. And so we were dating a little bit or talking about going on dates. We finally went on a date, and our parents dropped us off at Park Avenue, and we walked down the shops. I think we had dinner somewhere. And it's my first like real date too, which is pretty cool for a 9th grader. And we walked out to this little park right by a train station. There's a nice water fountain and these benches. And we sat down on a bench and just had like a first like open mouth kiss, but not like a makeout session, but just a couple open mouth kisses that were really romantic. It was nighttime. I didn't feel like I was slobbering all over her. I hope not anyways. And it just was really pleasant and really nice. And I probably should have stayed with that girl, but I didn't. But that was my first, I consider, real kiss, perfect circumstances.
At the end, remind me to ask you who all these people are.
Okay. I
have guesses, but some of these don't sound quite familiar to me.
Gotcha. But yeah, and right after her, I ended up dating someone who was troubled, we'll say. But we had a long relationship then. That was my 9th grade relationship that started off the my craziness for years. But this is my last taste of innocence and just like a sweetness for this first kiss experience. It was very nice. And just recently reconnected with her on Facebook, which is great. So we're Facebook friends now. Also married with kids, like everyone else we know.
Just like everyone. In college, sophomore year, there was this girl I had a crush on, Sam, and I'd even asked her out to coffee, like out on a date the year before. But like girls in Seattle and this Christian university, like didn't know how to date. Everything was very, very official. Like you had to go to like 6 coffees and have 2 serious conversations, and then you were dating. You couldn't just go on a date.
My goodness.
Right. Yeah, this is a weird university. And this girl, Sam, I'd asked her out. She said no, and it'd been like a year. And Sam was tongue-tied for most of her life. So the little thing that connects her tongue was connected like way at the front.
Oh, okay.
So she like couldn't stick her tongue out more than like, like a centimeter.
Did it affect her speech or just hadn't it?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
But finally that year she got it taken care of and it healed up. And I remember her saying like, her joking with like a big group of us that the first thing she wanted to do was eat an ice cream cone and then make out with a boy for real.
Interesting.
And so much to my surprise, like that evening, I get a text.
Oh.
To come up to her dorm. And because she like wants to try out her new tongue.
You could always be very forward women in your life.
It was weird. It was weird. There was a lot of that at my university where like women were very forward with me, but then would like deny knowing me in public kind of stuff.
Weird.
It was a lot about appearances and appropriateness. So I go to her dorm and we put on some movie. It doesn't matter. And things get amorous and we kiss. And I remember it was the sloppiest, wettest, lickiest.
Gross.
It was terrible. It was awful.
Oh.
And I was her first like real tongue kiss.
Well, I guess you had to go at whole hog, It's been a long time.
Or she just didn't know how to use it because it was new. And
did her tongue just fall out halfway through? Like just out of her mouth?
I was like, are you just spitting on me?
She was actually just an alien from the Aliens
a very
movie.
Sweet girl. Sam, you're a sweet girl. But man, that was a little bit rough.
Oh, that's funny. I'm trying to think is like we talked about how early in the episode how the first time experience is often chased by people, and I've heard psychologists talking about this, and that's the whole problem of newness that often leads to some people being in open marriages, open relationships, because there is
they want to chase that fire. Yeah,
there's a totally different feeling over your whole body. The oxytocin levels, everything's different when you're not that person for the first time. The new smells, the new feels, everything, and so. It's hard, especially when your hormones are raging and you're younger, to get over that, where you're kind of stick with this one person for years. But what about that feeling I used to get? And then when you don't have that feeling anymore with someone, you feel like there's something wrong in your relationship, which isn't necessarily the case.
Yeah, I lost that feeling. Well, of course you did.
Yeah. And it takes being with the right person, of course, but it also takes understanding that that's going to change the way you feel towards that person. And it's not going to be the same, but it's a different kind of oxytocin that's like a sustained oxytocin over a long period of time, as opposed to this burst of chemicals in your brain that's like overwhelming.
Oh, yeah, baby. Talk sciencey to me.
It's just instead of having like a tap of heroin that's slowly going into your body over time, you just like inject the whole damn needle,
That's
so
right.
You got to kind of
that long game.
Yeah, the long game. So I end up chasing that first kiss feeling, and through college, especially, just like I wanted the newness no matter what it took, and hurt a lot of people along the way. And just didn't care. I want to chase that feeling of, and also the way it makes you feel when someone feels that way about you as well is overwhelming, and
it's true.
Gives you a happy feeling. So
to feel desired,
exactly. So I've learned to stop chasing that feeling. I know what it's like, and I can get over it now.
I tried to kiss this person, and they let it happen.
They must be crazy, or I'm awesome.
I'm gonna go with I'm awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely good with I'm awesome. But yeah, those are some of my I guess my true first kisses. But there's many other first kisses out there that I've had. But some of those stories are just not safe for if family members listening to this show. So I can't tell them.
We'll do another episode about those kind of exploits at some point.
And we'll do like a warning at the beginning.
We'll decide how we're gonna conquer it.
We'll say, parents, you cannot listen to this episode. You won't want to listen to this episode.
I shamed you. I shamed you, mother.
I shamed you badly.
Oh, man.
So I think a good, nice, short and sweet episode of the Sappy Crap episode this time.
That's right. Well, join us next time. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we're going to keep bringing you those good, sweet memories from that Wayback Machine in Central Florida.
That's right. I hope you're able to commiserate with some of these stories, and feel free to share some of your stories with us. If you want to talk about them on the show, we can read your emails, your stories, and kind of talk about how they differ from ours, or if they're the same, who knows? So
tell us about your first kiss. Make it embarrassing.
Yes, the most embarrassing stories are the best, of course. So thanks for joining us in this delightful stumble down memory lane.
And don't forget, the good old days weren't always that good.